Our English word demon comes from the Latin daemon, which had various meanings such as god or godlike. It could also mean more abstract concepts such as divine power or fate, and derives from the ancient Greek word daimon, from dio, to distribute fortunes. According to Hesiod, great and powerful figures were to be honored after death as a daimon, such as Phaeton, who in the Theogony becomes a divine spirit. In Hesiod's works and days, the people of the Golden Age were transformed into daimones by the will of Zeus. But when this race had hidden under the cover of earth, they became, as mighty Zeus decreed, divinities, powers of good on the earth, guardians of mortal men, who keep a watch on cases at law and hard-hearted deeds, being hidden in air and going all over the earth, blessing men with wealth, as this is their kingly right. Socrates was well known in his day to stop mid-sentence and turn his attention to a Muse, who was his tutelary spirit. It was described in Latin as a daemon. In Plato's Symposium, the priestess Diotima teaches Socrates that Eros is a great daemon, and goes on to explain that everything daemonic is intermediary between the divine and mortals. She describes daemones as interpreting and transporting human things to the gods and divine things to the men, entreaties and sacrifices from below, and ordinances and requitals from above. According to Iamblichus, we preserve in their entirety the mystical and arcane images of the gods in our soul, and we raise our soul up through these towards the gods, and, as far as possible, when it has been elevated, we experience union with these gods. In Plato's Apology, Socrates claimed to have a daimonion, which is the diminutive form of the term, which can be translated literally as an impersonal force. This force acted as a divine sign which frequently warned him, in the form of a voice, against mistakes, but never told him what to do. The later Hellenistic writers came to differentiate between good and dark daimones. The noble spirit was called agathodaimon, from agathos, which means good, brave, noble, moral, lucky, useful, and so on. This category was set up against the malevolent spirit, or kakodaimon, from kakos, meaning bad or evil. A similar evolution of the concept can be seen in Judaism. Evil spirits appear in the Hebrew Bible in, for example, the books of Judges and 1 Samuel. At 1 Samuel 16:14-16, it states, "Now the Spirit of the Lord had departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord tormented him. Saul's attendants said to him, 'See, an evil spirit from God is tormenting you. Let our Lord command his servants here to search for someone who can play the lyre. He will play when the evil spirit from God comes on you, and you will feel better.'" At Judges 9:23 it states, "Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech." In keeping with the overall theme of the all-powerful nature of Yahweh in the Hebrew Bible, the appearance of the evil or tormenting spirit is also attributed to the agency of God. This is the same dynamic that is attached to the appearance of Satan. Despite the important role of the fallen angels in the pseudepigraphia, modern Jews, by and large, do not accept the existence of demons. This is because there are no clear references to the specific concept in the Hebrew Bible, nor in the Jerusalem Talmud. There are two references which are sometimes translated as demons in English. These are found in Deuteronomy 32:17 and Psalms 106:37. In both instances, the designation is being used in a literary way rather than a literal one, in order to denigrate foreign deities in a similar derogatory sense as the Baal-Zebul term. As far as the good daimon in the Hebrew Bible, an angel or messenger is malach. This term is translated in the Septuagint with the Greek angelos, which also means messenger. The word daimon, on the other hand, carries the meaning of a natural spirit that is less than divine. It translates the Hebrew words for idols, foreign deities, certain beasts, and natural evils. It is this translation that supported the typical Christian association to evil demons. Together with the tension of opposites in creation, the problem of evil is also one that has occupied the attention of philosophers since our earliest extant records. It becomes a much more mysterious enigma when one's worldview follows a chain of thinking, with the first domino being a good and just creative force, or God, that is attributed to have started the universe. The problem has been explained with the dynamics of the emanations, and we will make a tentative start here to examine this riddle. In the process of their course through the universe, the elements are subject to change and differentiation. As Plato informs us, the ideas, or primal archetypes, are pure and fixed forms that exist in the heavenly realm. What appears to us as their images, and what is created in the material world, are similitudes of these first forms. This is why in the Republic, for example, Plato holds a hard line regarding the arts, because these products, be they visual or performing, are merely second-hand imitations of the real. With many of the Jewish apocalyptic writers, as well as the proto-Orthodox Christians and so-called Gnostics, this dilemma became expressed in the perspective that the material world is inherently evil. It was for this reason that a bitheistic theology was necessary to explain these dynamics, with a kingdom of worldly dark under a capricious king, waging war against a kingdom of heavenly good under a polar opposite benevolent monarch. In Philo's writing, the shining out of the eternal emanations brings the different geological forms, and the transient creation is in a process of evolutionary becoming. A typical analogy in the mystic strands of Judaism is that as the divine spark makes its way into creation, it is split, and therefore with each differentiation some of its purity and power is lost. It is for this reason that the various angels are required to provide a bridge for people back to the Godhead.